Mr. Hanna, we are live on YouTube and recording. Mr. Rivas has joined us. At the moment, I have no one else in the waiting room.
Okay, I can start then or wait for him?
Well, it's 7 o'clock. I think we're good to go.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Hanna, the chairman of the board, Zoning Board of Appeal. I will meet via Zoom to discuss the following option. I want to start with a roll call. Mr. Moore.
Present.
Mr. Rivas.
Present.
Mr. Ribeiro.
Present.
And Mr. Sibit. Mr. Sibit available? And Mr. DeLuca.
Present.
Michael, you're muted.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna start with accepting the minute from December 9, 2021. Anyone have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes to December 9, 2021.
I second. However, I do have a comment on the minutes. The minutes are accurate as I saw them. There is one thing that is not accurate in there only because of the confusion in the way that the bylaws were written when we approved them a year or so ago. And that's the fact that it was unclear whether we elected a chairman and vice chairman for 1 year or a 3-year term. Upon consultation, Mary, I guess, consulted with corporate counsel, and that's supposed to read for a 3-year term. The minutes say for a 1-year term, which is correct based on our meeting, but just to rectify that situation. So anyway, I second. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna open the public hearing to hear following application 2139 and 2140 and continuous public hearing 2138. Any motion?
I make a motion.
Go ahead, Peter. I yield to you, Peter.
I make a motion to open 21-39, 25 Cedar Drive. Roscoe Connor, agent for Cahill, Christopher and Eileen. RA 20 zone, reduced side yard setback from 15 feet to 12.2 for proposed deck.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me 1 second, Mr. Chairman. Michael's here, right? So that's fine,
Yes.
right? Okay, I'm just going to mute and just follow the meeting.
Is anyone to represent Mr. Cahill, Christopher, and Eileen, the owner?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Connor Roscoe. I'm the agent for the Cahill family.
Okay, let's know what you have in there. Can you tell us what you're gonna do?
Yes, we are proposing a deck build out on the backyard. It's a non-conforming lot, so the deck will follow the same line as the house down towards the side of the property. And right now, to fit the deck, which we propose, we need a 12.5-foot setback reduced from 15 feet.
How large the deck is you have?
The deck is 14 feet out by 21 wide, and that is not including the stairs.
Is any septic there? You have septic and
Yes, the septic is approximately 6 feet away from the nearest beam that will be for the deck. And it's in the backyard of the house, in between the backyard and the lake.
okay. Any question from the board?
Yes. What's the hardship?
Non-conforming lot, and the setbacks, the house is already past the setbacks that it is now.
Okay. And let's see, the house, let me just, hold on one second here. I'm looking at the map as I'm talking, so I'm not multitasking well here. Bear with me one second. Okay, so the house currently has, how far from the lot line is the house itself currently?
Right now, it's about 12.5 feet from the property line.
Okay. And this will go to 3.2 feet.
Correct.
Okay, on the north side, the left side of the house from the road, correct?
Left side of the house facing north, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I have a few questions in regards to the setback and the property line. I was at the property. On the plan here, it's showing the plot. Does that property line run through the middle of that driveway?
Yes. It runs through the middle of the driveway and down in between the plantings in between both properties.
So in between the plantings of the backyard there?
That is where the line goes, correct.
Okay. And then my other question is, what is the footage or the measurement being added or to the deck with the stairs being included? So you're mentioning, one thing I do want to mention here for the record is on the plan, on the survey plan, you have 22 feet as your width. On the application, you wrote down 21 feet. So,
correct. The 21 feet on the survey was a mistake. It is through the other plans I submitted of the deck draw, it does say 21 feet.
so with that being said, is it still that are you still dropping to 12.2 on that variance with the 21
Yes.
feet, or are you accounting for the 22 feet on the survey?
No, so the variance doesn't have to do with the 21 or 22 feet. It's reduced to 21 feet because of the septic location. We added a couple extra feet because you have to be 5 feet from a post where it's not a footing drain column. So that is the reason why I reduced it to 21 feet. And that is on the opposite side of where I would like the setback reduced. Yep.
All right. Now, again, and then what is the measurement or the square footage added with the stairs to the deck?
The square footage added to the deck. It's roughly like 35 square feet, counting the steps and the landing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Any further question?
No.
Anybody in favor of this application? Anyone in opposition to this application? Okay, I guess everybody happy, so can we have a motion to close 2139?
I make a motion to close public hearing 2139.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna open it for voting, I guess, right? Someone open it to vote in it?
I make a motion, we open application 21-39 for voting or discussion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any discussion or any favor? Any motion?
I
I make a motion.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead there. Tony, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve 213925 Cedar Drive, Cahill, Christopher, and Eileen, to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 15 feet to 12 foot 2 feet for a proposed deck per plan submitted.
Can that discrepancy on the plan be amended or fixed before being submitted? Does that have to be put into the record or into the motion? Just asking for Sean, Mary.
What are you
We
gonna
just say-
put in the motion?
I'm fine with the motion being made. I just want to make sure that that 1 foot difference from the survey to the application be either amended or noted in the record that
Oh,
it's off. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
That shouldn't be a problem. I mean, like I said, as long as we're voting on the proper distances for the variance, we will adjust the map as recorded in the minutes of this meeting.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
as per plan submitted.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 2140. Have a motion to open for vote, for discussion. Anybody in representing 157 Westfield Avenue, Galarza, Ligia?
Hello, I'm here. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, can you tell us what you're doing there?
So we're having an old garage that was there when we bought the house. So we're trying to do a new garage. So the one that's there is going to be demolished because there's no way to fix it. And we need a new garage. I also, since COVID, start working from home. So what I want to do, it's an office where I can work from home.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mary's trying to get your attention, Mr. Chairman.
I am. Excuse me, Mr. Chairman. We only opened the first application. We still need a motion to open this one. We didn't open all of them.
Okay, I'm sorry, we'll go for that. Let's open it for vote one by one that we have to do.
Well,
Okay.
because that's how it started.
All right, can I have a motion to open 2140?
Make a motion to open applications 2140, 157 Westville Avenue Extension, and open application 21-38, 25 Winter Hill Road for
Thank you.
public hearing.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, can you tell us what you're doing now again with the garage and office?
Yes, hello. So like I said, we're trying to do a new garage. The garage that we have, it was there before, and it's honestly, it's dangerous to have it. That needs to be demolished, and we need a new garage. Also, I work from home and I want an office. I want to be able to eat in my dining table again. Since we start COVID, my kitchen and my dining table is my office, and I need a place where I can work quietly and concentrate doing my job.
So you're building a garage and an office?
Yes, it's gonna be an addition. So I have 2 dogs. So what we're doing is I'm doing the office on top of the garage, and right next to it, we're doing a mat room because I have 2 dogs. So it's very inconvenient for them when they come and running from outside, not to have a place where I can clean them. They come directly to the carpets, to the sofas, and they always make a mess. And I love plants. So I have a sunroom. The previous owner had a little shed, kind of little room outside the house, but that's too cold. So all my plants die. So what I want to do, it's a little sunroom where I can keep my indoor plants. So that's kind of the project.
So how many square feet you add into the house?
715.3.
700, and that including the garage and the office?
Yes. According to the survey guy.
Is the new garage going to be in the exact same place as that existing garage? Is that where
Yes.
it's, yeah, okay.
Yes, it's not moving 1 feet. It has the same measurement. So the new garage, it's gonna be 289.1. And the old garage it's 289.2 square foot.
I have a question in regards to the distance from where the current garage is to the property line. I know it already encroaches. What's the distance from the corner of the garage to the property line now?
Right now, it's, I think, 3.5, 3.2, something like that. Right now,
That's the current measurement?
that's the current, and it's not gonna change with the new
Not gonna
garage.
change.
No,
Okay.
it's gonna be exact in the same place. So the addition is gonna be where I have a deck now. It's not moving any closer to my neighbor's lines.
How's that?
Right there, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it says 3.2 on the drawing.
Yes,
So the garage connected to the house now.
exactly. And I'm gonna have, if you guys approve it, I'm finally gonna have my office and my sunroom.
Okay, any further questioning from the board? Anybody in favor of this application? Anyone in opposition? Okay.
I have one more question.
Sure.
Is it possible to keep this garage detached from the addition? I feel, it's already less than what the variance is for the detached accessory to the property. By adding it to the addition, I feel that you're making it a more severe variance request by adding it to the addition. So is there any possible way where we can keep this garage detached from the addition, so it keeps instead of going from 25 feet on the side setback, we're going from 15 to 3 instead of 25 to 3.
I didn't hear the last part. It was cut off.
So for the RA40, the side yard setback is 25 feet, with the garage being attached to the addition. Your garage is considered a detached accessory. Your side yard setback is 15 feet. So you're right now you're going from 15 to 3.2. If you were to attach that, you're going from 25 feet. You're requesting a variance of 25 feet to 3.2 feet. I'm asking. What my question is can we keep that? Can you keep that garage detached from the property? To have this be a less severe variance request than what it is now.
We can probably do it, but I thought it would be, for me to walk out of the house and go to my office. I'm always very cold, and I thought it would be convenient if it's attached to the house, so I can just walk in the morning to my office and work there instead of leaving the house, going outside. I also, if we attach the garage to the house, I will have the room and the space for my mud room. It's just for convenience for me, my kids, and my partner, and also my pets.
I understand that, but convenience is not to me. It's not a reasonable request for a variance grant. Being granted. So that's why I wanted to ask. And I understand it's convenience. I think that it lessens the hardship or the variance on the property or the encroachment than it does if you were to attach it to the property.
If we do that, do I have to do the survey again with the detached garage and all of that? Do I have to send it to the engineers and do a new, proposal?
Sean, I'll ask you that question if you can answer that.
Yeah. So here's what I see is two problems. And I understand your logic, Juan, with what you're saying. If she goes detached again, she will have to remove the second story. You can't
Yeah.
exceed 15 feet in height.
Juan, yeah, before I proposed this, I went to the city and I talked to the guys there. They told me, specifically told me that the house, the new garage, in order to have my office, has to be attached to the house.
Right, so in order to put habitable space, you wouldn't be able to put it into a detached garage. You'd have to come back in front of the board because I don't allow it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
that's
whole
what.
idea is that she'd have to remove the office from the second floor, and like I said, the office use wouldn't be permitted without going for an additional variance. In this case,
even if it was detached, it wouldn't get further away, right? It would still be 3'2" because that's in line with the driveway, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't, but I think in my eyes, it's a less severe encroachment or a request than it is, asking from 25 to 3.2. And that's my thinking there.
I'm just saying, through the chair, for this point, I think the intent is for her to do with the mudroom connection to the sunroom, to have the second story office as part of the project. And I think that's what my understanding of it was when it was proposed. So yeah, it have to be attached to have the makeup it has now. It have to be attached to have the height it has now.
But it's not increasing what existing in setback, staying the same 3.2 feet, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Juan's, I was gonna say, Juan's point is valid, and Juan, you're spot on in terms of trying to find the least amount of variance in any application that we can. I think because the existing garage, even though it is detached, that's where it changes, becoming attached. But in physical distance, it doesn't change. And that I lean a little more in that direction because of that. But
That's
you're,
understandable.
yeah.
And that's just, I figured I asked the question before we close it, and then, the applicant wouldn't have a chance to comment or rebuttal anything. So that's why I threw it out there. Understandable.
Any other questioning? All right, can we close it? Close 2140?
I make a motion to close 2140, 157 Westfield Avenue Extension.
Second.
All in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, can we open 2140 for voting?
Making a motion to open 2140 for voting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Who's gonna make that motion now?
The rubber meets the road, huh?
I've been chatty all night. I'll let someone
That will do it.
All right, I make a motion to approve 157 Westfield Avenue extension to reduce minimum side yard setback from 25 feet to 3.2 feet. This, as we have discussed, is for an attached garage to replace the current detached garage with a second story with living space in it. As I've already said, there may be a way to offer a solution that's lesser of a variance, but with all things said, the actual distance from the side yard will not change. There's seems to be no issue with health, welfare, and safety, and per plan submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Continued public hearing, 2138.
Not right now.
Anyone representing the 25 Wintergreen Hill Road?
Mr. Chairman, is Peter still on the Zoom?
Peter?
Yes, he is.
Because he heard this last meeting, so I'm gonna let him listen in and vote on this issue.
So Mike
Okay.
is designating Peter to vote in his place for
Okay.
this.
Yeah, he already heard this.
Okay, is Peter in?
Yeah.
All right,
Peter, please, you should unmute yourself at this point, please.
can we have Mr. Kelly James, the agent? Tell
How's
us,
it going today? How are you?
okay,
So, last time when we were talking, we looked to go back and see if we could reduce the setback. I'm sorry, reduce the amount of variance that we would need. And we were able to knock it down to 16 feet. It's going to require, taking out some concrete patio and replacing it with, the pool patio and a few other things, but we can squeeze it down to 16 feet. And that's the most you can do with still maintaining 10 feet off of the septic system, which is the minimum for the health code. And then I don't know, were you guys able to go out there and look at the property? Was anyone?
I went there
I
today.
have.
So, one point I wanted to kind of bring up is, we're talking about, there are trees there, and, there is, an area that a pool, I guess, potentially could go. I got, I think it was Mr. Hannah asked for us to get an estimate on what it would cost to remove the trees. In speaking with Tree Masters, Isabel, it's not even really the cost of the tree removal, which could be over $22,000. The real point is, if you were to take down those trees and put the pool there, there's really no place to, put a new septic system if you need to in the future. And that's a main concern. Also, the area over there is all rocks. It's rocks that stick out of the ground. It's ledge. Mr. Check, I believe it was, had concerns about rock hammering, but if we were to put it there, where it would fit without a variance, it would require blasting. It would substantially change the topography, and it would lead to erosion of the area of the soil and just numerous problems. So I believe that the only location to put the pool is where we proposed. We were able to knock it down 4 more feet. I don't believe, I believe that this is kind of a non-conforming lot in the sense that the vast majority of the backyard is sloped. It's trees and it's ledge. It's ledge that sticks out of the ground. So that there's really no other place to put a pool or anything else like that besides the side yard. Also, the property is only 2,000 square feet away from, if it was 2,000 square feet less, which isn't a lot at all, it would be an R40 zone, and that would be a 15-foot setback. So we would already be making with 16 feet, we would be complying. And I don't believe, putting the pool, where we are, it doesn't change the look of the property. I'm sorry, of the neighborhood, which is, a woody area, with lots of trees. Taking down those trees would, affect the view of, all the other houses. And I don't think it substantially, affects the zoning plan. I don't think it is, outside of the zoning plan for that neighborhood.
Didn't you say last time that this was a shallow pool?
Yeah, it's only 4 feet deep.
And doesn't the grade down in the back drop down?
It does. Where we're putting it, let me see if I could.
Well, I guess my point is you wouldn't have to hammer any rock, right? If it's a shallow pool and the grade drops off, you could just,
Oh yeah, we're just
Um,
cutting into the hill. Exactly. Yeah,
so,
we're not rock hammering. We're not, we're basically.
no, I'm saying if you put it in the back of the lot behind the septic, it wouldn't, it's dropping off back there anyways, right?
It drops off substantially, which would require a lot more excavation. Where we're proposing it, we're basically kind of just leveling and then using that, setting the pool in there about 2 feet in the ground and then flushing it with the dirt that comes out. So it's a lot less, changing of the grade and everything. Maybe I can I'll explain a little bit. So on where the wood ties are, you're basically digging down 1.5 feet, 2 feet and setting the pool in there. And then basically on the high side, you're taking the dirt and you're flushing it to get the elevation off of the patio. If you put it where the trees are, you're basically digging in 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet. So you'll have the downhill side would be sticking out of the ground 4 feet. And you'll actually need a wall to put it there. That's another thing. You have a wall, you're gonna have drainage around the wall. You're totally gonna change the way the water runs off. There's just numerous issues. And speaking with Tree Masters, he doesn't even know if he could really get the trees out of there because of the septic system. There's really not access to get the proper equipment back there to get the roots out. Because it's not just cutting the trees down. We would need the stumps removed. And so that you have to excavate that out. You have to bring in a process if you're going to build the pool on top of a stump that's been excavated. Then you're gonna have to bring in fill. So you're totally going to change the topography there.
Do you have a revised plot plan? I mean, the original one, you kind of said it in reverse. The original one showed you were applying for a setback of 12 feet from that line. Now,
I've got it here.
How has that number changed?
Yeah, so me and the architect surveyor, we got it down to 12 feet. I have it on my phone. I tried to share it, but it's not. Can you guys see that or no?
Yeah, there's a gray bar kind of in the middle, but yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I don't know, that was the phone. So, you still have to maintain the 10 feet off that first field, the corner of that first field.
Does that still say 12 feet?
Yeah, I'm trying to read it. It's kind of small. Is that still 12 feet or is that?
No, that's 16 feet.
16, okay. Yep, I can see it now.
So another thing is, there was, we really want to take the neighbors' concerns, into this. We want to be good neighbors here and we want to get approved. I was able to go out there and put up a 7.5 foot high, basically like a fake fence with a pole and some tarp, and you can't see the pool area from the road. And I took pictures of it, which I could put up too. It's not even close. The pool is at the elevation of the patio. That's off the back deck, and if you put up a 6 to 8 foot fence, you're not going to be able to, see it. It's just, you'd have to be incredibly high to be looking at the right angle to see it.
How far the pool now from the septic? Seems to be you moved it a little bit.
Yeah, we moved it. Yeah, so we got it to 10 feet. That's the absolute best. 10 feet to the minimum. So that's the only way to angle it and get 10 feet.
Oh, and from the house is how far from?
Yeah, hold on. 10 feet from the,
10 feet from the house?
yeah.
I'm having a, go ahead, Mr. Chairman. I'm having a little bit of a difficult time understanding how the topography. I've been at the property, and the topography at this plot. You make it seem like if you walk towards that back setback, you're dropping off of a cliff hang there.
No, it's not that.
Well, it seems like it's what you're describing. So I'm having a hard time understanding how it would be such a difficult time to place the pool in the backyard where it would avoid all of this in general. And then another two things is there was no paperwork submitted to the secretary in regards to getting an estimate of trees that would need to be taken down. And I understand that you're saying that if they couldn't get the trees out, they couldn't they would have they couldn't get maybe the staff to get up there. So I'm having a little hard of a time understanding these conditions when I don't see them as such a hardship.
Yeah, I'm aware that financial reasons are not a hardship. I was asked to get that, and that's what we did. I'm not sure we sent it over or not. Sarah's out, the woman that usually does it. Her son's sick. I thought that had been submitted. I could put it up on the screen.
I think I looked at the lot myself too, and I don't see how you can't get behind the septic field. You got 40 feet alongside of it. You should be able to get a machine around behind it, and the grade drops off. So to me, I don't think you'd have to hammer any rock or anything. It just doesn't seem like, I don't see that it's that big of a hardship to put it behind the septic field.
Yeah, so in order to put it there, if you would have to, I don't think I'm doing a good job of explaining how far away from the septic we would have to be. So you would have to be at least 20 feet off the septic there. You need room for a little bit of patio. You would need a wall there because you're not going to catch the grade. It's not incredibly steep, but you're not just kind of scraping down and putting it in there. You would have to have about a 15, 18-inch wall, on the side closest to the septic, and that takes up space. So that, that really pushes you, 15, 20 feet from the septic. It's the only place you can actually build it there. And, that's getting really close to where all that ledge is.
I'm going to add something to that because I know that last meeting it was added, part of the continuation was to get the health department to opine, to get these exact measurements, to get this paperwork into us so we can review this and then have a better understanding. So you have to understand where we're coming from now, trying to understand this, now during the meeting to present this where we are going off of what you're telling us to, off of your opinion. If you were to turn this stuff that we asked for last meeting, I think it would have made it a little easier. It's making it difficult for me, at least as a commission member, to understand your hardship. I understand that you were able to get it from 12 feet to 16 feet, but I'm having I thought that it could be done at the rear setback, and that's why I asked for the amount of trees to be cut down, and if it could be done in the backyard. And then I also asked for the opinion of the health department on either the side setback there or the rear setback. And none of that was turned into City Hall for us to review. So I'm having a difficult time understanding this or trying to agree with your point of view here.
I'm sorry, I kind of understood what you had said about the health department.
Okay.
I honestly, I just didn't think I didn't know that I was supposed to have them review it. I misunderstood what you had said, I believe.
Okay.
I went out there and I staked the septic fields and everything and spray painted it and then put up markers. But I still don't even really understand what you would want me to do with the health department.
Well, I mean, Commissioner Rivero just said that he thinks that it can be done in the backyard, and you're explaining to us that it can't be done in the backyard because it takes more of just the pool being put in the backyard, and with these other things that need to be done around the pool that makes it not impossible or not possible to put in the rear setback. So
And I think, hearing the neighbor's opinion, he bought a house in a development that, had those setbacks. And so, I think the onus is on you to do everything to not have to get a variance. And I mean, it's not a non-conforming lot. The lot's, perfectly shaped. I mean, to me, I looked at it. I don't see, I'm in the construction business, and I don't see how you could say you couldn't get a stump out of there if you could. There's plenty of room to get a machine around without driving over to septics.
You would have to go on the left side. You wouldn't be able to come right off the driveway. So it would need a loader. It would need a bunch of other things is what I was getting at. You couldn't just, come in, and get them out of there with like a dump truck, and that's what he has in the quote. So, can we just go back to what you want me to do with the health department?
But I mean, that was last month. I don't know if it would mean anything now. I mean, it's up to the commission, or the rest of the commission members. We're now in the meeting. This is the public hearing, so now is the time that it needed to be, had or done.
Any other questions from the board?
I am curious a little bit. The photograph that just because we're here, if you have it queued up in your phone, the photograph you took of where you staked out the 7.5-foot fake fence and what that looks like from the road. Do you have that?
Yeah, just bear with me 1 second. I'm not the best with technology.
If you're not finding it, it's all right. It's
Yeah.
I was just curious. That was one aspect of the opposition that came up before. However, we now are looking at more strongly at behind the septic system anyway. So.
Any other question from the board? Anyone in support of this application?
At what point do you hear opposing views from the neighborhood? I'm not accustomed to being on this.
Are you in opposition or are you in support?
I'm in opposition.
Okay, so now this is the next. We're gonna ask who's in opposition.
Okay, fine.
All right, so are you in opposition? Tell us why. And
Right.
go ahead, say your name for the
I'm on
record.
29 Wintergreen. And we bought this house 33 years ago. mainly because of the neighborhood. The house, we're on an acre, and the house is very close to our neighbor. Why, I don't know. But, it was a used home and we bought it. However, I can relate to Mr. Check's concerns about being too close to a pool on an adjacent piece of property. 2 houses down from me, just 1 acre property, 2 houses down, there's a homeowner with a pool. They have children in there. And in fact, we enjoy the noise. I won't call it noise, the sounds that come from it, because we're grandparents and it's fun. But we do hear it. That is west of me. Northwest of me, on the street behind me, there is another house with a pool, and they're a little bit noisier, but not really bad. Let me get back to my home for a minute. My home is so close to the adjacent piece of property that they're looking at me from their driveway into our kitchen. A great neighborhood, great neighbors, but it's not the best of situation. Getting back to Mr. Check, I would be very upset if somebody had a pool close to my house and I perhaps had to deal with, let's say the house is sold and you get party animals in there. Why are you even considering variances? Big pieces of property like this, deal with it. The person we bought into it. I bought into this house. I am not happy about being close to my neighbor, who's a great neighbor, by the way. I'm not happy about being as close as I am, but I bought into it. I knew what I got into, and that was it. But that should not allow people to encroach on your space. And that's what it would do. And I don't have, the Czechs, they're neighbors. We're not super friends. The adjacent property who wants to build a pool, we're not super friends. And we're not enemies either. It's just, I don't have an axe to grind. What I'm saying to you is, I can relate to what he's saying. I would be very upset in a 2-acre neighborhood with 1-acre homes to have something, to have a variance to build what potentially could be a real noise factor and encroaching on their living space. Everything we talked about here is how much it's going to cost the potential builder or whatever. But Mr. Check, I've said what I have to say. I disagree wholeheartedly with as much space as we have that somebody's going to build a pool off the adjacent property's deck. That's insane.
Mr. Schmidt, you're 29 Wintergreen, right? Is that what you said? So you're
Correct.
2 doors down from the applicant's property to the, I don't remember now the numbering, I was there, but to the left or to the right of
Well, from looking at the front of my house, it's to the right of my house.
okay.
It's to the east of my house.
Okay.
By the way, a lot has been said about what it's going to look like from the road. I'm sure those people have a beautiful house, Lords. They have a beautiful house. I'm sure whatever they're going to do would be fine. And I'm sure the neighbors wouldn't have a problem with seeing a pool from the road. I mean, and it's downhill. You're not going to see much of it. The real problem is the encroachment. I'm upset with what I have. I'm not upset. I mean, I live with it. I don't want to be as close to my neighbor in a 1-acre neighborhood that is really a 2-acre zone. How that happened, it didn't happen with my neighbor. They weren't there, and we didn't build this house. So, I bought into it. And that's what it is. And likewise with the people who live there, they bought into it. They have to live with it. But to intentionally build something close to somebody else's house, I don't agree. That's how I feel.
Mr. Chairman, we still in opposition?
Okay, let's see if he's done. Anyone else in opposition?
Yes, this is Dominic Del Biondo. I'll be short because I was on last time, and thank you for giving us the time. I've been taking some notes as I've been listening to this, and like I've said in the last call, I've owned a pool in multiple houses that I've lived in. And what's really bothering me about this idea, especially after listening to the pool installer, is that there are options here, and those options are not being considered. Another option that I mentioned to the pool owner, to the pool installer, is that a smaller pool can also be put in to potentially reduce the need for a variance. And the only response I got from him was that, oh, well, due to COVID and supply chain issues, it would take too long to get the pool. And I just don't buy that as a good response. We're all dealing with COVID issues and things taking too long to get things, both in business and also our personal lives. I also, coming from a construction family, I'm the only one with a corporate job in my family. My whole family is in construction, all right? And when I was listening to all the things the pool installer did not say, all he was saying was how the pool could not end up in the backyard. And I could offer a whole variety.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt. I guess Nee James is trying to get into the chat. He
Oh,
must
I'm
have been
sorry.
moved off.
He must have dropped. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sure.
Want to make sure that he's in here so he can hear the opposition.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Thank you, Juan.
No problem.
Just let me know when.
I will.
Okay.
He's still trying to connect to the audio.
Okay.
You okay? You in?
We lost him again.
I think we lost him. Yeah.
I see him. He's still trying to connect to the audio.
Yeah, he's in there now. Connect.
I seem to be having some problems just now too. There we go. Is he back? Oh, he's still trying to connect.
There must be a button on that phone he's not pushing.
Yeah, it'll probably take too long, but he's probably trying to go in through the Zoom meeting. There's also an alternate just dial-in option, but maybe he's not aware of it.
So what's going on? We can't connect?
He was almost connected. He's coming in again.
Oh. She's saying here, he said is waiting to be reconnected.
Right, and I've admitted him.
Yeah, somehow he's not, you have a couple options, connect to video, connect to audio. He's missing the audio one somehow.
Okay, I'm admitting him again.
Hello?
Okay, you're back?
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It just kind of
Okay.
All right, you're in now, right?
Okay,
We ask the opposition to continue.
yeah, I'll try to keep it quick in case it gets disconnected again. Yeah, from the Najami, I was just offering some additional ideas that I didn't hear you talk about, and I'm really not here to debate it. But there is an option to get a smaller pool, and you mentioned to me last time that due to COVID, it'll take too long to get it. Well, every business is dealing with that, and every person in their personal life is dealing with difficulties getting things in a timely manner. But there's no hardship here, so you could wait if you absolutely have to have the bigger pool. Getting a smaller pool can reduce the need to have the variance. The other thing I mentioned is my entire extended family is in construction, and I really don't think you painted a complete picture. I think you painted a picture of what you would like to do, but you didn't present all the options. There are also options in the back that you didn't even talk about possibly in surroundings or yards like that, about putting down a platform deck, actually having an above ground pool sitting on top with a wraparound deck and those types of things where you don't want to go into the ground, you don't want to blast, you don't want to, if you take down trees, you don't want to remove roots. You can do really nice, beautiful pools sitting in a wrapped around deck situation as well. That absolutely looks beautiful and actually make the yard look great too. And then being in construction, I'm not going to get into this in detail, but there's ways to get machines back there. There's ways to get stumps out. There's ways to grind stumps if you don't want to take the stumps out. So there's a lot of flexibility in construction to put in different options. I don't think you've explored all the options. And that's my last point. And I'm not going to echo all the things that my neighbor across the street and Mr. Check said, because we covered that on the last call. So I just don't want to be redundant. That's all I have.
Thank you for your opinion.
You're welcome.
Anyone else in opposition?
Yes, Mr. Hannah, Mr. Chairman, if I could, just a couple of additional comments based on tonight's commentary. I won't repeat what we said last week and is already in the record. I would say this, looking at the minutes of the December 9th meeting and the agenda for tonight, I fully came to this meeting expecting that the applicant was going to have an accurate number of trees and to have a map with the septic field located for a clear idea of the setback line, which are the two things that were requested. I saw that. I think anybody who read the minutes saw that. I was kind of shocked when instead the statement was that he was asked to reduce the setback. I don't recall that being a request, and it certainly was not reflected in the minutes of December 9th. And I was actually I was kind of flabbergasted by that, to be honest. I think that the comment again I want to make, and I won't bore you now with showing you a photo, but I do have a photo of that area in question. If you'd like to see it, I'd gladly put it up on the screen. It is not a drop-off at all. It is rock ledge, and we talked about this last time, and this is the whole point, is everybody in this neighborhood has that same situation underneath their land, which is why this doesn't make it a unique situation for this property owner. And, and as has been stated, by Mr. Schmidt, that, you buy a property and that's the property you buy. It's buyer beware, and, you deal with it. And I can be sensitive and empathetic to the fact that, just 2,000 feet from here is an RA 40 zone, but that's not the zone we're in. We're in an RA 80 zone, and there are different rules and regulations that apply in the RA 80 zone, and I certainly would want to have them adhered to for all the, legal reasons that are necessary. So I'm going to stop there. I would like to introduce our attorney, though, Neil Marcus, to maybe make a few comments.
Thank you, Michael. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, for the record, Neil Marcus, Cohen Wolf, PC, 158 Deer Hill Avenue in Danbury. I appreciate the introduction, but I think I know the faces on the screen pretty well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you. Mike came in to see me about this application after the last meeting, and we had a long discussion about a legal hardship. As Tony Ribeiro said, you got a 1 acre lot, you got a lot of room there. And Mike asked me the same thing. He said, where do we determine that there's a hardship? And I said, well, it has to be because of some unique characteristics of the land. So far, I haven't heard anything from the applicant that would even allow me to try to opine as to whether there could be a hardship here. I've heard conflicting things. In one sense, he started out telling us that the septic reserve would preclude building in the rear of the property. And then in the next sentence, it was all ledge back there. Well, between you and me, you can't have your septic reserve where all your ledge is. So I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about. But you've got about 139 feet behind the house until you hit the property line in the rear. That's a lot of space to put a swimming pool. But the other thing is that it's hard from the scale of the drawings that we're looking at here to tell exactly where we're working around the septic system. Now, the applicant has said that he probed the backyard and he spray painted where the septic fields are. I hope that's accurate, but he's got to get that reduced to a map with dimensions on it so that the ZBA can see if there's any inclination that there's a hardship because of distance to an existing septic system. So as I'm looking at the house from the road, and of course hearing the fact that it would be nice to be able to put the pool off the driveway because you could bring your construction equipment in a lot easier. My question is, why isn't the pool behind the driveway? Well, of course, the septic system is on an angle towards the corner of the driveway, but I have no idea how far away it is. There's also a large area, hard for me to read. It looks like a deck on grade behind the house. And there's a large area there between the house and the septic system, which could fit a pool, but then again, nobody quite knows where the septic system is. So the problem with what's before you is that actually confuses me. I can't figure out what we're talking about. I appreciate that people don't like to waste money on engineers and surveyors. Don't tell any of my friends that do that stuff that's how people feel. They don't like wasting money on attorneys either. I know that. But the fact of the matter is, in asking to impose their pool on the Czechs' property, which is what they're doing here, they really should have a solid set of data that you can rely on to see if we even could consider a hardship. So at this point, unless you guys can figure this out a lot better, I'm listening to Mr. Kelly, and I don't think he's got the data, quite honestly. He says, well, it's ledge and then it drops off. Well, how much does it drop off? And by the way, the nicest swimming pool I think I've seen is in ledge. It's a beautiful way to build a swimming pool. And even if you have to blast a little bit to get into the ledge, it's a fabulous pool. But I don't want to design their pool for them. But the fact of the matter is, the information that you're getting seems to be scant and at odds and not sufficient for you to ever find that there's a legitimate hardship. So I would suggest that the applicant and the applicant's spokesman should go back and give you the information, which actually I thought you were going to have this evening, because Mike Check told me that you continued this so we could have this information. And I told Mike, I said, bring it in, show me what you got, and I'll tell you whether you're making a legitimate claim that there's no hardship. At the moment, that claim is legitimate because there's absolutely no hardship on these drawings. But then again, the drawings are incomplete. So it really is, back to the drawing board, because if this is approved the way it is now, it ends up on an appeal on the issue of hardship. And in reality, everybody would be better off spending their time and their money developing a set of plans that would work so that the applicants can construct a pool. And I have a hard time thinking that they really need a variance. It's just, there's just too much space on this lot to do it. So that's where we are. And the checks are certainly willing to take a look at the material if it's provided, but at the moment, we're going to have to stand in opposition to the application. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Okay, we're gonna,
Mr. Chairman, Mrs. Kava has her hand raised and has had her hand raised for quite some time. She is the applicant.
the applicant, is he back now or no?
This is the homeowner.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, well, we have to give him a right to rebuff whatever they said or what he gonna do.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I have just to say that certain things that I have said that are saying there, I really don't agree. Like Mr. I can't recall his name from number 29. With all my respect, I really think that he's pretty far away from our property.
Should be.
And I really don't think that that us having a pool that will affect him. Like I said last time, we are really a respectful family, which we tried to keep our privacy, which it was the main concern of having this pool from Mr. Setch. As probably you recall last time, that was the main complaint, his privacy, because he says that he was going to be all exposed, the pool. I don't know if Mr. James was able to show you the pictures. I haven't seen it also. But I really don't agree about what they have said. I understand that probably he didn't come all prepared with everything that was requested at the meeting where you gave us, I would say, a second chance for this. And even though that if you decide that if you decide that we don't deserve to have the pool or it's not what we should have because it's not eligible for that, we do accept it without opposing to it, because we respect that, because you guys at the end are the one that have the right to say, not us. We all have different opinions, which we respect. Like I said, as young people that we are not loud family. I am a hardworking nurse that I work in the hospital in the Bronx, and I understand they want their privacy. They don't want to have all these noises that they think they will have. Like I said in the last meeting, and I'm probably repeating myself, and you excuse me. We've been here for 3 years, 4 years now. We never had a problem about noises. We have family coming over, but we think about neighbors, that we know that noises, there's certain limits. That's why we move out of the city, and we have to understand. Neighbors, people come and visit and they leave and they go back to their house. But we live in this house. We have to live with the neighbors. So we understand how to respect that. So we really don't make that type of noises that probably they worry about from us having a pool. Like I said, I understand your decision and I will be grateful to accept it if you want to give us another chance. The pool, the pool by us has, has a racially profile on us. So this was our only option in being comfortable of having our own pool. And on top of that, it's a lot of money for us, which Mr. Setch said is none of his business. All the money that we have to spend on trees that we have to bring down, but it is my business because I work hard. And with this COVID situation, it's hard for us when I come from work and I try to do physical therapy for my father and I have to pay for that for somebody that has a pool. And I'd rather have it at home where it will be at his own privacy and I'm taking care of his health also, which I could do the therapy for him and I'm saving money for myself too. So whatever you decide, like I say, you want to give us another chance. I do understand that. I will accept it gratefully. And if you don't, we will accept it also. Okay, so you guys have a good night and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for your opinion.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Is the Mr. Kelly still want to talk, or that's it, done?
Yeah, so, maybe I didn't say this correctly, but we did locate the leach field. We dug it out when we first went out there to build the pool where we thought it would be. The lawyer had mentioned, why don't you put it off the side of the right off the driveway? That's where it was approved for, and that's why we're here. It was approved to go there. The septic was, the original plans were incorrect. We stopped everything we were doing, got a survey, went that route. And we dug up the septic tank and the leach field, the end of the leach field. So that's how I know, where we could be. Maybe I didn't say that originally. But that's, we did locate the septic,
Okay. Any question from the board again, or?
Yes, is the plot plan that you originally submitted, the one we have on file, that shows the septic, is that accurately portrayed on that plan?
Yeah, it says approximate, but it is accurate. We dug it up and we used the stake to find the fields, and it is accurate, correct?
Okay. And the problem there is that the far end of that leach field that's directly behind the driveway, there's no room for 10 feet in between that and the leach field. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. So there's 22 feet from the driveway to the leach field. However, you need a 10-foot setback. There's not enough room given the slope and everything to put a pool. I mean, there's no 10-foot pools. Even then, you would still need room for a wall. That would only give you about 6 feet, 6-foot wide pool. Those don't exist.
Right.
But then again, I asked, so what if you went behind that, to the rear of that field, septic field, and put and put it back there? Wouldn't it be possible? Because earlier you mentioned with the rock ledge, the blasting, and the trees, it was too much money. So that's another. I think a lot of people are questioning that location, that it looks like it's possible there.
Yeah, no, it is possible. But like I said, the reasons for not doing it would be, and I'm only bringing up the money issue because I believe, I could be wrong, but Mr. Hanna had asked us to get someone's opinion, a proposal from a tree company. So that's what I did. But it is possible to put it there. It's just, if you put it there, you're going to require, a good amount of trees coming down, at least 30 or 40, to give you enough, sunlight for a pool. It's not just the area of the pool. You have to have sunlight, and it would change the topography by, having to dig more. Because it's the deeper slopes, you're digging in more. Whereas over on the side, it's not much digging,
Understand.
Okay, any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, are we allowed to comment, or is it kind of closed off to only the board?
You only allowed to what now?
No, are you only allowing the board to talk right now, or can I just say something to what he just said, or I'm not allowed?
If you're in a position you want to
Yeah.
talk again, I guess you said what you want to say before, but you can, of course, you can go ahead and say it.
No, because James is only referring to the one option or the one design that he has in place to install. He's not talking about other available options that could be done. And if we're addressing hardship, I think you should be doing that.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, any response for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand, I get what he's saying, but, I did say you can put it behind the septic fields. That is a place to put it. However, there's several reasons why that's, it changes topography. You have to cut down a lot of trees. It changes the look of the neighborhood. It changes the view of several of the neighbors. And, you know, it's a lot of things versus, you know, putting it on the side, there's less, you know, issues there.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, as long as we
So
can.
the
Mr. Chairman?
side situation, I have something to say. If you want to put the pool in the back and you want to cut the tree, because if when you buy a lot and you want to build in it, you need to go clear the lot, the first thing. And then if you have ledge, you need to blast the ledge to be able to build. So there's a cost involved there. But that's what happened when you get a lot that with that condition. Now, the people don't want to, I mean, if you can work it out over there for the extra expense that they want to do it, I would think that's the best place for you and nobody going to oppose anything because you don't need any setback line or anything. Because this situation here is so close to the septic, or unless you can move one septic, one leach field to the back, but that's costly too. That's not cheap.
That is an option. You know, that is an option.
Yeah.
However, I went out there and in order to do that, the septic, the fields, they go like within a few feet, like 1 or 2 feet of the tree line. So you would have to cut down more trees and basically put that new field back there. I explored that option.
So you probably can move just 1/2 of one field. You don't need to move the other side.
Yeah, it would only be the left side, correct? Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that will be the best solution for you. You can move it away to within the setback line and stay close to the house, and you don't need variance anymore. But it's costly a little bit, yes. But you want things done, you're gonna pay. You know, we can use a financial thing for hardship.
Even though I get what you're saying, Mr. Hanna, I completely agree. If you delete that one field, you still would need. Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, the left half. You still would need some type of variance because it's not going to fit. You know, you would have to cut up the patio, the existing patio, and that you could do it there. But you know, now you're cutting up that patio. You know, it's a tremendous.
I don't know all the distances you have there because you have to have a plan made correctly by engineer and the put all the distances where, and maybe you twist the pool around. I don't know. I'm not a pool builder, but I built some houses before, but I know what you can do, you know, to do, you know, everything you do today is costly. So
it is.
That's my opinion anyway. So if anybody else want to talk? All done?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, Mrs. Kava has her hand raised. I don't know if that's remaining from the last time she spoke or she's trying to speak again. I don't know.
The owner?
No, I'm not trying to say anything. I said what I had to say. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it's, I guess we finished talking. So we have any discussion with the board before we close it? Any comment? Any ideas?
Well, before we close, I guess the applicants have a couple of options for us to give a very specific list of things we would want to continue discussing this in terms of, I don't know what else we could use at this point that would help. We've got a pretty good idea of the septic. We know kind of where things are. We know where things fit and where things don't fit. If for some reason they could improve the ask, so to speak, and come back, we could ask them if they want to continue it. Otherwise, once we close this, as we all know, there's no further comment. And then we're at that point, we are obligated to vote up or down.
I do want to continue this.
Do you want the opportunity to come back?
Yes, I do.
I have a comment on the continuation. We continue this one month. We asked for certain details to be provided to the board, and they were not provided to the board. I don't mind continuing, but if we do request certain items or things in regards to this application, there needs to be provided to the board so we can review these things in advance, so then we can go over and get a better knowledge of what is trying to be done by the applicant. Um, uh, to be honest with you, the applicant came ill prepared. They didn't come with what we asked for.
I agree.
They kept saying the same things over and over, and to me, it's a waste of time of the board. It's a waste of time of the people here. And so if we go to continue this and we ask for certain details or certain items, it needs to be presented to us in a timely manner so we can then review this stuff and then take a vote on it if that's the case.
I totally agree with what you say. And is there any way I could get all the information that the board is requesting?
But we cannot give you all information because we don't have the spaces on the map. Whether if he moves portion of the septic system, how much the space is going to be? Can he fit the pool between that septic field and the house? Can he slide it toward the front of the house? We cannot give recommendation on that unless we have some spaces. You need an engineer to make this calculation, because if the first line of the septic, half the line is moved, the pool can move the other way, twist it around, and maybe he can clear all his setback line. But I'm not an engineer. I don't know. You need to speak to an engineer to calculate that for you and get the prices for the septic and if that's acceptable to you or not.
I understand. I know that last time you mentioned that you wanted the pool to be moved a little bit, like if you could move it a little bit more. And I believe that's what he did.
So we want to be far away as much as we can, and we ask for the trees, how much they cost to cut down, but we're not gonna go with this recommendation, and then if they don't come clear, and then we wasting our time for anything. We can't make recommendation for you. We're just trying to help you to release you from hardship, but we can't make a recommendation. We're not engineer here to say what you can do, what you can't do just from a map. We have no dimension in it.
I understand that, and I totally agree, and I appreciate you giving us the chance of
to
provide you all the information you need. And at the next meeting, we will try to bring you all the information that you're requesting. And if not, I totally accept if it's declined the application.
I didn't request any information from you. I just made a suggestion. If that worked for you, it can help you out to move your pool in between the house and the septic without encroaching on the setback line. So I'm not making any recommendation because I don't know. I'm one member of the board. I don't know what the rest of the board want. We don't want to make recommendation no more and come work on the dark on it. No dimension, no setback line, no nothing. This is going to be up to you and to your engineer and your pool company, how you're going to design this without encroaching to the setback line. Then you don't need to come back to us. If it's a 1 foot or 2 foot, very little thing, maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the board will decide. I don't want you to come back and say, well, you told us this, you told us that.
Mr. Chairman, for my mind, and I obviously can't speak for the whole board, I think if in the process of working out something that's further away, this is 12, it's now 4 feet more, from here, that really didn't cut it. And I'm not sure there's any way of going much farther without doing something where you might ultimately not even require a variance. For example, taking out this leach field probably isn't enough. Just guessing here. It might be these two.
We don't know how much the space over there.
We don't know.
Yeah,
But ultimately, if they remove these fields enough to get in back here, then they don't need a variance. So at that point,
exactly. That's
what I'm saying is in the process of thinking this through more completely with what might be done that might be satisfactory, they may come to the conclusion they can just withdraw the application because they won't need a variance for wherever it is they decide to ultimately go.
That should be where your money is spent and time is spent to figure out a way of not encroaching on your neighbor's property.
I concur with both comments there. I think that in this process, I believe that this pool can be put somewhere else where it doesn't require the variance as well. And in that process, they can just withdraw the application. I agree. In my mind, I think this pool can be put somewhere else, and I think that it is up to the applicant to either prove the burden of hardship or find a way to not have to come back to this board. So I'll leave it as that.
Okay, the applicant willing to withdraw the application or?
We would like to explore the possibility of removing the first field. And then basically.
So you want to continue it?
Yes, please. We'd like to explore that option.
Okay, but remember now, we're not making a recommendation because we don't know the distances, okay? You need to work out with the engineers and you and the engineer. Okay, fine.
It's not that I've explored that option. I believe it might require a very small variance.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, can we, any more discussion about this or we all done?
Just one question for Mary. If we continue this for a month rather than 2 weeks, does that, how are we on the calendar for our requirement to?
I would have to figure that out, but we could still, we might be beyond the 65 days, but we can get the applicant to agree to the extension.
All right.
All right. And so the next meeting is January 27th, and the meeting after that would be February 10th.
So they can have either one, right?
Yes, I mean, to accomplish what they have to, they may wish to go with the February 10th. I don't know.
I will do the 10th.
I would like to get this wrapped up as soon as possible. However, getting an engineer on board, that could be a timely process,
So you're okay with the time?
I'm sorry, say it again?
You okay with the time frame?
Yes, that's the second one, please.
All right, good then. Let's have a.
And just to put it in the record, I recommend the applicant, whatever the process they decide to go with, they come better prepared. Because honestly, you came very ill prepared for this meeting. So if you do looking for a smaller variance or whatever the case might be, come prepared because it wasn't that case today.
I apologize. Like I said, I misunderstood what you had said, and I apologize.
I got. Can someone make a motion to close it and extend this one?
Well,
it would be a motion to continue.
Or a continuation, we don't need to close it.
All right.
All right.
I guess I'll make a motion again to continue the application. Let me get this right here. Application.
$21.38.
2138, 25 Winter Green, Hill Road.
Second.
To February 10th.
To February 10th. Yes, correct.
Okay. Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now we go to the
Good night. Thank you. Good night.
motion to adjourn.
And make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Happy New Year.
Aye.
All right.
All right.
Good
Good
night.
evening.
guys.
All right, everybody
Good
take
night,
care now.
everyone.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody.
Good
Good
night.
evening.
See everybody later.
All right.
Bye-bye.